Hello everyone and welcome to my first Rust building guide. Today I want to showcase a new Y-gap turret pod design that has potential to be a great addition to your base designs. I have used one type of this pod design already in my recent base design video, the crab. I will link it in the description. This turret pod design can insta-kill any full gear raiders and can be applied to uneven terrain easily, unlike freehand pixel gap designs. So there are two types of this design. I want to start with number one here. This uses a simple single triangle for one turret. This square here represents where the edge of your base will be. This is how much space it adds onto the side of your base. It can be connected to the main base TC with this ramp and frame. As you can see, the turret has a very small gap to shoot through, as well as raiders to shoot back at the turret. So in this design we reverse a single door frame so we can get a conditional that covers the turret a little bit more. You can open this chain link to check each side of your compound if you were to have one. However, the downside to this single turret design is that you can easily splash it because it's so close to the chain link. I will show this later in the video. So coming over here we have an identical mirrored version of the same design, it's just connected to an external TC. By doing this you can remove the ramp and frame connected to the main TC if it was blocking your line of sight of the shooting floor, and you can extend the privilege of the external TC. So coming on to type 2, we have two turrets in this design, and once again this is where the edge of your base will be. So as you can see, there is actually space for honeycomb inside this triangle area. So in this case we have basically the same angle as before, but there are two chain link fences that cover the auto turret and it cannot be splashed. Once again we have some conditionals that are slightly better than the single turret design. And similarly with the previous design, we can just remove this ramp and extend it with an external TC if you would prefer that. So here are some examples of how you can apply this to a base. Obviously it is desired that these turrets have bolt action rifles because they only have enough time to get one or two shots off. So here's type 1 on this side. So by removing the triangle floor above the turret, it can actually lock onto raiders inside the shooting floor. But with type 2 it's not as good because obviously the turrets are slightly cornered. But if you prefer, you can just block this triangle off for a bit more security. So like I said, using a single HV rocket, type 1 design can easily be splashed and would only require 3 HV rockets. But here on type 2, you can see that it basically takes no damage. Even with the second chain link open, it's still full HP. So I'm going to quickly run through how to build this. So in this case we're going to start off from a square frame, but if you had a triangle you could easily go off the left and right. So assume this is the edge of your base. You want to build out by 2 squares, place 1 triangle, delete the 2 squares, and then come back with just 1 half mil, and this is basically all it is. So in this case we're just going to do the type 2. So we're going to place these 2 triangles on either side of the original triangle you placed. You want to wall these in, but you want to make sure that when you add this frame you rotate it so the conditionals are applied. Then on the interior you want to place these 2 frames, and then the outside walls, and once again you want to make sure the conditionals are applied on these as well. So it's up to you if you want to wall this in with a triangle or not to keep the vision up onto the side of your base. So by adding a half wall and a window frame, when you connect it to the main TC it actually makes a very nice peak. I actually use this peak on my most recent build video, the crab, so I have put that in the description like I said before. As previously mentioned in the Type 1 design, this has a better peak angle as it is directly below the shooting floor. And it's not hidden like in Type 2 over here. So in Type 2 you can just place the turrets just hugging the back wall. And then simply place chain link between them. However, when using Type 1 you want to make sure you place the auto turret slightly closer. If you hug it to the back of the wall, the angle's very thin and it will hinder the chance of the turret actually snapping onto raiders. So when placing you want to make sure the turret lines up with this line on the foundation, as I show here. So bring it forward until the bottom part of that arrow snaps onto that line, and that's all it is. Feel free to comment down below what you think about this design. Thank you for watching.